Welcome to the Women's Motorsports Network podcast, the show that puts the spotlight on the incredible women who fuel the world of motorsports. From drivers to crew members, engineers to fans, and everyone in between, we're here to celebrate the trailblazers, dreamers, and doers shaping the sport we love. Each episode, we share inspiring stories of females of all ages from every corner of the motorsports universe, past, present, and future. It's a journey through the seasons of life filled with heartfelt moments, laughter, and a whole lot of horsepower. So whether you're a lifelong fan, a racer yourself, or simply curious about the extraordinary women behind the wheel, settle in, relax, and enjoy a fun and uplifting ride with us. This is the Women's Motorsports Network podcast, connecting and celebrating women in motorsports, one story at a time. Let's hit the track. Hello, everyone. This is Melinda Russell with the Women's Motorsports Network podcast. And my guest today just lives down the road from me, actually. We probably could have done this in person, Crystal, but Crystal lives in Battle Creek, Michigan. I live in Kalamazoo, so we're just 94. Galesburg kind of divides us a little bit, but we're both Michiganders. And so, Crystal, welcome to the show. And I would like you to start off by telling us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Crystal. I am currently a maid by trade. I clean houses and I also work online. I run an online business and my favorite thing to do is ride dirt bikes outdoors. I do like to do snowboarding and stuff like that, but dirt biking has become a big passion of mine. So I have 2 kids. I have 4 dogs and 2 cats. They all keep me super, super busy. My boyfriend also rides dirt bikes and he races dirt bikes too. So we try to get the kids into it. They aren't too much into it, too much, but they do like to go sometimes when we like to go. But so, yeah, that's just a little bit about me.
So how old are your kids?
My son is going to be 15 here in March, and my bonus daughter will be 15 in October.
Okay, so I was thinking they were, if they were little, they just don't get how fun it is, but they're old enough to figure that out.
Yeah.
They're not interested.
One's very, very fearful, and my son says he likes it, but he only wants to go to the motocross track. We like to do a lot of woods riding, and he doesn't like the woods riding.
So much. I can kind of see that. I don't think I'd like the woods riding either. Ziegler has a track right here, and it's like, I can hear it from my house. That's how close it is to me. So, yeah, and it's busy in the summer for sure.
Oh, yeah. I think it's at Tuesday nights, I think.
I believe you're right. Yeah. Yep. So, so I'm pretty close to there. So if you come over there and ride, you'll have to let me know because I could almost walk to there from where I live. So.
Okay.
So, Crystal, tell me, how did you get interested in riding dirt bikes?
So I've always kind of been interested as like a little kid or a small girl. I randomly would ride some when I was a teenager, in the middle of a field, sometimes like that. But it really wasn't until I met my boyfriend and that I got really into it. He races and rides dirt bikes, and so he took me up to the cabin one weekend with all the guys, and they went all out, went dirt biking, and I kind of hung out with the dog. Her name was Zora in the cabin, and I told my boy, I was like, I want to ride. He's like, really? I was like, yeah, I want to ride. So we bought me a little TTR 125 to start with. I got on that. We go dirt biking up north, like through like Lincoln Hills and stuff like that up here in northern Michigan. And so I started off on that. I was on that for like a year and I did pretty good. So then he's like, okay, you need to upgrade. And so then we upgraded me to a KX 100. That was not a good fit for the woods. Yeah. Nope. So it broke down a lot, but so we ended up fixing it and selling that. And now I'm on a Husky 150 TEI, and I absolutely love it. We go woods riding. We go down to the West Virginia mountains. We go down to KTM World. We go down to Croom in Florida. And that's what we love to do. And our kids graduate in 5 years. So our goal is when they graduate, we're going to pack up our dirt bikes and we're going to go traveling around and just ride our dirt bikes wherever we want to go.
That sounds like so much fun, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll tell you a funny story about me. I'm married to my second husband. We've been married 20 years, going to be 21. And he's a motorcycle guy, rode motorcycles since he was a little kid. And in fact, our first date was on a motorcycle. And so eventually, he kept saying, well, the fun's not on the back. The fun's not on the back. Okay. So I went to the driver's license station one day on my lunch, took the test, passed the test so I could ride a motorcycle. And so we went out and we bought a Honda 250 to get started, a Honda 250 little bike. And we lived in the country. So it was, we'd go out on the country roads and I learned, and I actually first learned to drive in the yard because we had a big yard. And then same thing, Crystal, he said, okay, you've graduated from this. Now you need to get something bigger. So I bought a Honda Shadow, I think it was a 500 Honda. Yeah, I think so. A Honda Shadow. So I rode that for, a couple of years. And then we went to the International Motorcycle Show in Chicago. And of course, we came home with a new bike. And so I had a Honda VTX 1300. So I really moved up. And I rode that. I would ride it to work. I worked at Bronson. I would ride it to work. And we would ride all the time. And long story short, I ended up having to have back surgery. I couldn't really ride like I used to. So I sold it. But I still have my license. So if I ever want to, I'm looking at those 3-wheelers, Crystal, because I'm old and I got a bad back. And so that would be a lot of fun. But, riding through the woods, I don't think that's for me. But I do know a couple other ladies that they actually race, and they race through the woods. Now, is that what your boyfriend does?
He does sprint enduro racing and the hare scramble racing. Him and a couple of his friends keep telling me that I should race too, but I seen those boys race and I don't know if I want to get mixed up or tangled up in any of that. I really just enjoy just like going out, and if the worst thing that's going to chase me is a bear, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, this gal I interviewed, she absolutely loves it. And she was telling me they start like 6 or 8 across and they start. And I was like, yeah, that's just a little more than I would want to deal with. So I'm with you there. I would rather ride for pleasure and not race, but it still sounds like a lot of fun for sure.
It does sound like a lot of fun. Like I really enjoy going and like watching the boys and the guys and stuff like that. And I do see the girls there too. And I think about it. I really do. But then I see like all the guys coming off like yelling and complaining. I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
I think it's hard. It's hard on your body. I mean, all racing really is because, but it is hard on your body. I think, especially on the motorcycle for sure.
Oh yeah. And you got like people flying by you and they're very competitive. They're like yelling at you and you're like, okay. Yeah. Just gonna pull over and you can go by. I mean, I might consider doing like a national enduro where like I could start maybe like the last row and everyone goes in front of me and then I can just go at my own pace, and that it's not like everyone's could like lap me or anything like that. But I would have been considering maybe one of those, but yeah.
So what do you love most about riding a motorcycle? Dirt bike, motorcycle, same thing.
Yeah, I just love the adventure part of it. Like going, like, especially like going out to like the West Virginia mountains. Like the last time my boyfriend and I went out, we stayed in this little trailer that was in the end of a holler, and we had to ride our dirt bikes down to the trail, and we could either go left or we went right. So we decided to go right, and we went up the mountain, down the mountain, around the mountain, like all sorts of adventures, went and got gas, I think my dirt bike broke down because my spark plug got all gummed up, and so we had to like deal with that. So it's just like I love the adventure part of it, and like it's just like so much fun. We ended up finding like this really cool campground when we were out there. We went and saw the Hatfield McCoy Cemetery. Like it's just like there's so many adventures you can do with
Mm-hmm.
a smaller motor
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
you can do like with a lot of other things. So
Well, and it's when you say the adventure, there are so many beautiful, cool places in the United States that you could go to ride your dirt bike. I mean, like you said, your goal is someday to travel and hit all those places. And there's just nothing like being outside. Like when we ride like my husband still has his motorcycle, so when we do ride or I ride behind him, I think the thing that I notice about riding a motorcycle or a dirt bike is the smells. You smell
mm,
the fresh cut grass. You smell the grapes if you go out through pawpaw. And you notice things more than you do if you're in a car.
mm-hmm.
You notice the flowers that have just bloomed, and it sounds crazy, but you really do have notice a lot more about nature or things about where you are. And I think that's a big plus for
Oh
riding a
yeah.
motorcycle.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Just like, like being there and like there's like been times we'll be riding or like we're getting off to go ride and all of a sudden then there's bears right there and we got to wait
Oh,
for a second to let the bears go. Or like unfortunately we've been riding and excuse me, my boyfriend's just going along and all of a sudden he scares a grouse and then we have dinner for the night. So, it's like there's so much like so many things that happen, like we saying baby deer, coyotes, bears,
yeah.
like so many different like things to explore. We found caves, we
Hmm.
found a tractor that ended up like it was like on fire one time at one point or another, like on the top of this mountain. Like there's just it's so much fun just adventuring and seeing all of like the different things and
Yeah.
scenery and views from different like altitudes. And what better way to get there than on a dirt bike, because then it's not as much work. I mean, it's still a lot of work, but it's not as much work.
No, and you can go places that you couldn't go in a car or a Jeep or a truck anyway. So,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
we
So do
usually
you
pass
work? Yeah, exactly. So do you
them.
work on the bike when it breaks down, or does
um
your boyfriend do that?
My boyfriend does a lot of that because I'm right now we're in that busy life stage where my son does 3 sports all year round. He's a 3-season athlete. So like I'm
Uh
literally
huh.
never home until like 9 o'clock at night. And then his daughter also does 2 sports or like 3 sports too. And so he just always wants our bikes ready to ride and he's too impatient to wait for me to work on them. So he's like, by the time I get home, he's like, I've done this, this, and this to your bike. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
you
that's
know,
and you're like, okay, because I ran here, here, and here with the kids.
right. so,
It's a
I mean, I
trade-off.
don't mind it, but like once my life starts to slow down, I am going to learn and stuff like that because I will have the time and the capacity to learn. Right now, I don't think either of us would have the patience to teach
Yeah,
me right now in this point. So,
yeah. So what's some of the places on your bucket list that you want to go?
oh boy. So I really want to go ride in Colorado. I've been seeing a lot of like adventure trips that a lot of the
Hmm.
girls do there. I really want to go there. Colorado, Montana, Idaho, anywhere that there's mountains that we can ride in pretty much. I went to Bali, so my new goal is I do want to go to Bali and rent a dirt bike there and go through the volcanoes.
Yeah, that'd
So
be cool.
yep. So that's my next goal after I've been to Bali. That is my next goal when I go back. I wanted
Uh-huh.
that to stay longer and to do that. But yeah, there's so many places that I want to go and to to follow the Supercross series too, to follow dirt bikes.
Yeah. So do
So
you when the dirt bike racing comes close or whatever, do you go watch?
Yeah, we do. We still have a lot of friends that race in the hare scrambles and like
Okay.
stuff like that. So we do, and we'll have like go watch them, or once in a while my boyfriend will decide to show up and he'll decide to race because you can just pop in, you know.
Yeah.
So we'll do that, and we like the atmosphere when you go to the races because it's so like family oriented. Everyone's camping, everyone's like so just friendly with each other. If someone's like breaking down or someone's generator runs out, everyone's just so willing to like help each other. Like the camping and the dirt bike atmosphere is unlike any other atmosphere or like community, I guess is a better word, than you could ever get.
Motorsports is that way. You know, every type of motorsports that I know has that same community. It's not football, baseball, the other sports. No, it's not the same. And not to say that when your kids are playing that you don't have a community, because yes, you do. But those are temporary things. And the motorsports deal seems to be more generational from families. And so, you know, the dads knew each other. Now the kids know each other, and it does become your second family. That's for sure. Yeah, I hear that all the time. Yeah. So, have you ever gotten hurt riding your bike?
The most hurt I've been is I probably maybe cracked or bruised a couple of ribs. I might have hurt my shoulder a little bit, like, you know, because we go when it's wet a little bit, and I think I get a little too confident sometimes for my ability still. So then she goes down. But so I haven't ever gotten like seriously hurt. My boyfriend this past year, we broke his collarbone, so we kind of had to like park up the dirt bikes for a long time, and you know, stuff like that. And then now we're getting into travel baseball season, where our life from like June until August every weekend is like baseball. So August is really our big time to try and ride, and we really prefer to try to go south if we're gonna ride, because like if we're gonna ride 5 hours north, we might as well ride 6 hours south, and we're in the mountains. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true for sure. So do you think that being a part of the motorsports community, and even though you know you're not a racer, which is, you know, I interview all kinds of women that are involved in motorsports, do you think it's a good activity for girls to be involved in? And if so, what would you say to encourage somebody to do that?
I think it's an absolute great activity for a woman to be a part of, or just like anyone in general to be a part of. Like, there's nothing like riding a dirt bike, because it mentally challenges you, for one, because there's so many things you have to think about in order to ride that bike or that motor, whatever it is, in order to go, especially like the clutch, the brake, and you had to make sure like you watch your distances and watch your path, and like your eyes have to adjust to your speed that you're rolling, and like there's just so many things that you have to think about. So like I love the mental challenge of it. And like, to be honest, like if I was mic'd up, you guys would probably laugh, because I really love just talking to myself inside my dirt bike helmet when I'm riding. Like, there are times when I'm like, I think my boyfriend's kind of cash in on my life insurance policy because of like these certain trails that he takes me on. I'm like, what is this? But like, so like, I really just I like the thrill of it. I love I love the way it makes my body feel like after, like, and during. It's got me like thinking more about my health. Like, I just riding my dirt bike in general is just something that I crave to do. And it's a couple hours where I can go out. I can't be on my phone. My phone is in my backpack. There's no way I can look at it, be on it. So I totally escape. And it's just like, it's the most best thing in the world. And like, again,
it just clears your mind.
Yeah.
You know, and you can think about other things other than, oh, my phone just beeped or whatever, for sure. Yeah. So what was your biggest challenge when you started, you know, riding pretty seriously with your boyfriend?
Probably just like keeping up with the boys and like making them not wait for me forever. Like
Yeah.
trying, because they would wait for me at stop signs and stuff like that. Sometimes like it would be a big challenge on certain trails they would take me on, because like I'd be like, oh my God, this trail is like super tough. Like, cause like they like to go single track riding. So the trails are like super tight. They're not like super wide. And like, I'm not very good at like using my front brake at all yet. And
Mm-hmm.
so like I'm still learning. I've only like really been doing it maybe 4 years now. Like I haven't been doing it that many years, but I'm I'm decent enough to where I can ride fast enough to somewhat keep up with them. So like I enjoy riding with them, and but the challenge is, yeah, definitely just trying to keep up with them and trying to really use that front brake like to the best of my ability, to where I'm not going to fly off my bike.
Go head over heels over the handlebar.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So you don't have a street bike?
Nope, I don't have a street bike. I don't think my boyfriend's trying to convince me to get like a dual sport bike, because he wants to do like adventure riding and with like the bikes. But I'm too scared. Everyone doesn't pay attention, and I don't think I could relax enough to be on
Yeah.
the road safely to be there. So
Yeah. I mean, it's so fun. It's so fun to ride, even if you just go to dinner or whatever. But the people that are driving in the cars, it's just gotten worse and worse over the years. And that's the thing. I don't really ride on the back very often. I mean, in the summer, like I said, we'll go over to Westnage to dinner or something, but I don't. And a lot of it is just because of that, because it's gotten so much more dangerous for bikers to be riding. And that's the one thing I worry about my husband, because he's now 70, but he's, quite capable of riding the bike. But it's the other idiots on the road that I worry about. And
right.
so, that it always worries me a little bit when he goes out, because um, he's an excellent driver, but the people that go up and down our road and things maybe are not always as good. So yeah. And your boyfriend doesn't, he would have a street bike if you would.
Yeah, he definitely would, but he also is like to the point where like it's other people that
Yeah.
scares him. And like, he's got his daughter, and I got my son, and like my
Yeah.
son has a father, and never, and his daughter unfortunately lost his mother, so she's all he's got. So he's like, I don't really want to
Yeah.
do that. So
Yeah, I don't blame him, because, you got to think about other people when you're doing that kind of thing. So what are some of your best memories from the things that you've done, your rides? Is there a place that you love that you want to go back to, or just
so
one that was just so much fun, or anything?
I really love when I go to the Hatfield-McCoy Mountains. That's probably one of my favorite trips so far. We ride in and out. We either stay, like I said, in that trailer in the holler, or we stay in at this place called Trailblazer Outfitters. And I really enjoy there. The host there, he's super nice and super fun. And that's probably one of my favorite places to go, is the West Virginia mountains. And then I really enjoyed going down to Florida when we tried to go, or when we went to watch the Day in the Dirt motor cross event. Or do you know what I'm talking about down there?
I haven't heard of it.
Oh, it's in it's out by Croom, where Croom is in Florida. And we went, it's called Day in the Dirt. And Travis Pastrana was there. We took the kids there. They met him. They really like enjoyed that. And my boyfriend got to race in it. Did he race? He might have not raced for some reason. I think his bike might have broke. But the kid, those are probably my two favorite memories. Just riding in the Hatfield-McCoy Mountains and going down to Day in the Dirt, watching that event, and then riding in Croom and just being there with my family. So
yeah, and that's the best part about the whole thing, right there.
Right.
Is doing that. Yeah, Travis Pastrana, he did a big race in the Phoenix area And we used to go there in the winter. We went there 2 or 3 winters. I can't remember. I have 2 daughters that live out there. And it was right after the NASCAR Cup finals. And then Kyle Busch and Travis Pastrana, and I can't remember. There was some other big name people. They rode, and it was cars, but
Mm-hmm.
it was a track where then they
Yep.
jumped over and stuff. It was so fun to watch. It was so hot. It was awful, but it was really fun to watch. And then Travis Pastrana was actually in Hartford, Michigan, and
Mm-hmm.
I think he was in Kalamazoo
Okay.
last year or a year or so ago. So you'll have to watch for that because he does come to this area some, and he's just amazing. He's crazy.
He is. My kids love him. Like my kids, like they might not enjoy riding dirt bikes with us, but they do enjoy going to like they love going to Redbud every 4th of
Oh
July.
yeah,
They love to go MXON. It's coming back this year. So like
yeah,
they enjoy going to those things. They enjoy that kind of atmosphere. So it's not that they don't like dirt bikes in that kind of sense. They just don't enjoy riding it right now, but
yeah.
they will. But right now they love the atmosphere and the community of it. So
So have you ever been? And I don't know if they even still have it, but there used to be a hill climb, a little bit. I want to say it was north of Muskegon somewhere. They did a
oh,
big hill climb. And my husband and I went to that, shoot, 15, 20 years ago. But that was crazy. Those people riding their dirt bikes up that hill and over the rocks. And do you ever go to anything like that or watch any of that like on TV or anything?
yeah, but that's what all my boyfriend likes to watch, and he likes to do that kind. That's the kind of riding he likes to do. When it gets to the gnarly rocks and stuff like that, I kind of just sit at the bottom and wait
Yeah.
and watch him do it. And then when
Yeah.
he's done, I'm like, okay, let's go. What I can do, and then we'll go do what I can do. And so, because
Yeah.
I'm not very like I said, I'm still learning my clutch. I'm not very good. I don't even know really how to pop a wheelie yet, but I'm rolling with it, and I can get over logs, and I can get myself like through the trails, and I get there. So
Yeah. Yeah, those guys that do that. In fact, there may be ladies that do it too. When we were there, it was all guys, and oh my gosh, it was just amazing how they can get up those hills and that, and it just makes you worry. And we watch that on TV too. We're a big sports. My husband and I are big sports. I'm actually more of a sports person than he is, but he'll watch all those kind of things. Not as much basketball, football as I am. So anyway,
yeah.
yeah, that's all fun. So what do you want to do with your biking? What's your goal? Like if you could get as good as you ever wanted to be at it, do you ever want to race? Do you ever want to do a hill climb or any of that? Or are you comfortable doing what you're doing now?
I mean, I've done hill climbs, but I haven't done like hill climbs with like gnarly rocks and everything like that. So, but like I've done hill climbs where I can get up hills and stuff. But like my goal is probably to eventually do a race. Right now, because my kids are so busy, I don't have the
Right.
time as much to ride my dirt bike as often as I did right before they started like high school.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
but like I said, I've got a couple more years. I'm going to keep just riding, and then once my boyfriend and I start traveling, if there's like I said, an enduro that I think I might want to try, I'll probably sign up and try to race it, see what happens. My boyfriend says I'd be surprised at how good I think I would do compared
Uh-huh.
to what I thinking in my head I would do. So, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, and the thing is that until you try it, you don't really know, but um, it'd be fun to just try it and just see. But you've got to wait till you have more time that you can really get some more seat time, because when
right.
you're driving kids everywhere, it doesn't leave you any time for yourself really. And so once they at least maybe become drivers,
Mm-hmm.
then even if it's just being on the bike, and it doesn't have to be up the mountain or through the rocks or whatever, but the more time you spend on the bike and get really comfortable with the bike, then that's the time when you're going to want to start thinking about what else am I going to do. But
Right.
it sounds so fun, Crystal. There's no better place really than Michigan in the
Right.
summer to ride. And I'll tell you another really great place to ride would be the Gatlinburg, Tennessee area.
Okay, yeah, I do want to go there.
That's my husband's favorite place to go to ride his motorcycle. And you can go up over the mountains into North Carolina. And so if he had a first choice, that's where he would tell you to go for sure. So put that on your list. Yeah. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us about, what you do and what you love? Because that's pretty cool that we live so close together, really. And it's nice to know that you're enjoying the motocross and you're right here in Michigan. So I always like talking to people that live close by.
Yeah. No, if you're going to ride. Enjoy it.
Yeah. Don't let people tell you can't because you're a woman or because you're old or because you're short or whatever you might be.
Right.
Because there's always a way. If you want to do it bad enough, there's a way.
Oh, yeah. There is always a way.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Crystal, thank you for reaching out and sharing your story with me. I love sharing stories. That's why I do the podcast, and everybody's story is different. And that's what I love about it. Every time I interview somebody, it's always different than anybody I've interviewed before. So that's what I love about it. So thank you for reaching out, and make sure if you come over on Tuesday nights, let me know. We'll come over and watch and meet you in person.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Thank you, Crystal.
Bye.
That's it for this episode of the Women's Motorsports Network podcast. We hope you've been inspired by the stories I shared today and feel more connected to the amazing community of women in motorsports. Remember, whether you're behind the wheel, in the pits, or cheering from the stands, your story matters. And together, we're driving change and celebrating every milestone. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with someone who loves motorsports as much as you do. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram for updates, behind-the-scenes content, and more incredible stories. So until next time, stay inspired, stay connected, and keep racing through life. This is the Women's Motorsports Network podcast, where every woman's story is worth celebrating.